Morning everybody, welcome back to the Soda Shack. What we're going to be doing today is replacing this. Now this is something I made very quickly to get me, save me a lot of money. If you have one of these sanders, which is a palm sander, or like a small little random orbital sander, as some people call them, or you have the flatbed sander. If you've got one of these, then you need one of these to save your money, because if you're buying the sheets that are pre-cut for these machines, you get a pack of 10 for £4 or £5, which is, to me, is too expensive. So what I did, I quickly made this jig up. Like I said, I quickly made this up in the past as a temporary measure. And what we do, we use these rolls of sandpaper, and what that does, I'll just pull the camera down a bit. What that does, that sits on the jig, and then you roll the sandpaper out to there, and then all I did was grab my set square. There's a mark in the wood which is the right length for the paper for this sander, and then just with the Stanley knife cut across where I've got the set square, and that gives me a sanding sheet the right size for that sander. Now you can always, I haven't done it on this one, but we're going to do it on the one that we're making next. Is you also do the same thing, because of the same width of paper. We're going to put a mark on it as well, so we can cut these ones the same to length, so we've got like a dual purpose like a machine. I say I made this very quickly, very temporary, about 4 years ago, with the intention of building another one straight away. And as you can see, it's wobbly, it's falling to bits. Wasn't made to last, it was just knocked up in about 5 minutes. So today's project is we're going to make a better, proper one of these, so it'll hopefully last my lifetime out and continue to save me a lot of money. So we'll get some material figured out, and we'll see what we can come up with. Right, so just found this piece of 18mm MDF, which, as you can see, is a bit wide, so I'm just going to rip that down on the table saw. I'm going to leave it at that length for a minute until I work out. Obviously it's plenty long enough for just replicating this one, but we want to put an extra piece in to do the other sander as well, so we can make it multi-use. So I'll get table saw set up and we'll get this one cut. Right, set the fence 150mm. That's what we want. So we'll get this cut now. Right, now I've got this cut to width. What we need to do now is make just a couple of supports for the side, but as you can see, all I did, just screwed these straight in and they're not secure at all. Over the years they've just gone looser and looser. No glues, no nothing. Like I say, I just knocked this up very quickly. So we need to make some decent side supports now that are going to keep it rigid and hopefully not fall off in the future. So we'll have a look, see what scrap we've got kicking about to make those out of, and we'll work the height out and what sort of shape we're going to do them, and get them glued this time and screwed in, get the holes drilled, and that's that section all sorted then. Right, so we just found this, what we got, yeah, 95mm, so it's basically what we used to call the 4x1, 95mm by 21mm, just a scrap off cut I've got, so as you can see we've got plenty there to get two side pieces out of. So we'll measure these up. So what we want is, that's measuring 6" or 155mm. So I'll cut two of these at 6". Pencil, that'd help. There we go. That's a cut end, so we know that one's square. Right, so 6" there. Right, I've just cut two of those on chop saw now, and then get them fastened on, get some glue, screws, get them all in there nice and tight. Two pieces cut now, which are going to go on the sides like that. We might just knock a bit of an angle off here just to make it look a bit better, I think. So we come into about 50mm. None of this is precise. All this is just, as you can see, make it up as you go along. What works for me might not work for you, but this is what I'm doing to get it to get my stuff working right. So like I say, if you think, oh well, if I do this a bit different, it'll work better for me, that's fine. There is no right and wrong for any of this sort of stuff. Right, so I've come in 50mm there, and I'm going to come up, what we're going to come up about 80mm, I think, there. I'll just mark that off. So we've got 50mm in, 80mm up, and then all we're going to do now is just join these two lines and just cut that angle off, and just make it look a bit better. So that's what we've got. So we're now just going to cut that piece off. Right, setting that works out for my bit an angle of 35 degrees is what we're going to cut off. Right, so now we've got those cut and the angles done. If you wanted to, there's nothing to stop you just whipping all the way around these edges with a router and just knocking the edges off. Like I say, it's nothing special for me, so all I'm going to do is just give it a quick sand up, just get all the rough bits off and all the sharp corners off, and then we're going to attach them to there. So I'll get them sanded up and then we'll start countersinking and getting it ready for fastening on. Right, so like I said, I've just taken the edges off of these. With this sort of job you can go as posh as you want, you can go as rough as you want. I'm just doing it for functionality. Doesn't have to look pretty, as long as it works for me, that's fine. So what we need now is a couple of holes through the top here, so that this bar can go through, and then we can thread our roll of sandpaper on there. So roughly measure the width of this bar that I'm going to use. Like I say, you can use anything. I mean, there's a bit of old doweling I've got. I could use that if I wanted to, put that through. Doesn't really matter what you use whatever you've got laying about. A couple of old bolts or something, whatever you've got. So I'll just measure up now for this, and then we'll get the drill set up and get all these drilled out. Just marks where I want the hole to go. As I've said, you might want it in a different position, you might want to make these higher, you might want to not even bother taking the corners off, entirely up to you. That's where my hole's going. So I've measured the bar, that measures about 6 mil, as rough as I can do it with the tape measure. So what I'm doing, I'm putting a 9 mil hole through, so it's got plenty of room to spin. So always make sure when you're drilling you've got a scrap piece underneath that doesn't matter where the hole hits, because you're going to just get rid of it anyway. So saves you drilling through your bench and everything like that. And then all we do, put one on top of the other that you've just drilled. That marks your hole, and then you're through again. Right, that's the mess cleared up there. Now we've got our two ends, and then the bar I'm going to use will just fit in there nicely. So now what we need to do is we're going to fasten these bits now down to this. So we'll drill these edges, countersink them, and then get some glue on here, screw them together. Once the glue's set, they hopefully shouldn't end up looking like them two. Right, when we come to pilot these, you don't want to be too near the end. If you get it too near the edge, as you come to screw into here, it's just going to split your MDF, and that's not going to give you any sort of support at all. So just keep it in from the edge. I would say 25 mil, 30 mil in, and you should be alright. Same again, using your piece of scrap. Sorry, I'll show you that. What I've done, I've just marked, put that in, pencil line across there. That gives you your mark of how thick your wood is that you fasten it to. So you want to be drilling in the centre of there, so you're going into the centre of the MDF. Using the one you've just drilled as a template again, just mark your next 2 holes. Right, just countersunk these. So now, bit of glue and screws, get these fastened on. Using 3.5 by 40s for this. Nice and thin, so hopefully they'll not split the MDF for us. Now you don't want to over tighten these. Like I say, all you're going to do is just split the MDF. The glue is going to do most of the work for you. As long as you've got it tight enough just to let the glue do its work, you'll be alright. Two done. That fits nicely into there. We'll cut this to length later. Right, now what we need to do is work out all the lengths that we need, and like we've got on this one, we need to figure out that's just to hold the paper down so it can slide under. And then we want the stop blocks putting in to mark up where the lines for the cutting are going to go. So we'll figure them out so we can cut both lengths correctly, and then we can start getting it back together. Right, just cut this piece. I'm going to use that as an end stop. So what that's doing, that's just marrying up with that. And once I've got that done, I can transfer this cut line onto here, because that section's going to be exactly the same. And then that will cut the small ones for the palm sander. And then what I need to do then, once I've got that line on, is work out the longer line for the flatbed, and then transfer that, put that one on, and then I can work out where this little holder's going to fit further down here. So I'm just going to glue and screw this on now, and then transfer that line over, and we can start marking out then. before, just tighten it up just enough to let the glue do its work. Over tighten the MDF just splits it. That's that on. Right, get rid of this for a minute. Then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this off. You don't need this anymore. As you can see, all that's split. That's why it's all wobbly. What we're going to do now is line these up. Transfer the line over. Square that up. So that gives us our first cut line. So this is the old sheet, what I've taken off the other sander. So I'm just going to try and straighten this out the best I can, and then use this to mark out where the second cut line needs to be, which will be there. You don't have to be 100% accurate on these, so long as you're as near as you can get it, because there is a bit of give in the clamps where these sheets fasten into. So where these sheets wrap round and fasten in, if you're a tiny couple of mil short, doesn't matter, because you can still get your clamp on both sides. So provided you're somewhere near, doesn't really matter. Right, so we've got our two pieces on there now. Right, you can probably tell I decided to cut a different piece for this. That one was the other one was a little bit too scabby. What I've done underneath there, just to space it off so that the paper can slide underneath, is there's two washers just on each side. Just lifts it that little bit, and the paper can slide through. So get our roll of paper, slide it into there, feed it through there, and then it's just a matter getting it level with the end stop, using the square up to the marks, and there we have our sheet, perfectly cut, all ready for that sander. Now this sander has small dust bag on the back. I've actually modified it so I can just put the hoover straight in, but it also has the holes in the bed, and this one comes with where have I put it? This one comes with a plate with the spikes in, so once you've cut your paper and put it on, then all you do is shove it straight down on there. Those holes line up with these dust holes, and it punches the holes in, as you can see on there, ready for your dust extraction. So instead of buying them pre-cut with the holes all marked in and that, you get a roll. I think these are about £2.90 a roll off of Amazon, something like that. Whereas I think a pack of 10 of these pre-cut is about the same price. Well, as you can work out, you're going to get far more than 10 out of a full roll of that. So it's saving, in the long run, it's saving you a fortune. Well, basically that's it. I'm just going to cut this bar to length and put a bit of a stop on on one end just to try and hold it in position. But what you'll find is, like on this one, over time, where your pencil line is for your cut, obviously it puts a line in, which does make it a little bit easier. So every time you cut across with the Stanley knife, obviously it's digging in, and once that starts to dig in, it does make it easier for cutting as well. So there your two lengths done. So I'll get this cut and find a little Jubilee clip or something just to pop on there as a bit of a stop, and then we're about done. Right then, we've got everything in place now. Cut this bar to length, sorry, place. Just put a small little Jubilee clip on the end, so that just holds it in. It's not going to stop it falling out, but it's never moved on me before, so it should be perfectly alright now. And then, I say, it's just lead it out now, cut across whichever length you want, and we're away. And everything's sturdy, it's all much better done. That one took me all of, what, less than 5 minutes to knock up and sort out. You see, this one's taking a little bit longer, but we're taking a bit of time with it. If I wanted, I suppose I could paint it and, you know, glam it up a bit, but it's just a functional thing for me. As I said before, you can go as far as you want with these things, or just stop wherever it is you want to stop. So that's that one done as far as I'm concerned. That's going to work well for me for the next, well, God knows how many years. It's another little one that I've been meaning to do that we've got out of the way now. I hope it's been informative for you, or just hope it saves you a bit of money. So there you go. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.